Welcome back to The Boys in the Iceberg, the podcast, where we watch Avatar The Last Airbender. As always, I'm Caleb Bader.
And I'm Harley Davis.
And we're kicking it off, starting Season 3 today.
It's a good season. Well, it's not their best season, in my
opinion. You don't think so? I think from the episodes we saw so far, especially the second one, I really enjoyed the second one.
The second one was very comedic.
Yeah, I think that they're on a new level now.
On a new level of what, humor?
Well, so far, yes.
You think they're all trying to cope with Mako's passing?
No, probably not. That was a while ago.
A facade of humor?
No. It was quite a while ago.
Like how long ago? For us, it's been a while. When did this episode air?
September 21st, 2007.
I thought you said September 11th.
That was a joke. A 9/11 joke.
That's a joke?
Yeah.
9/11's a joke to you?
Never forget. But, I really like this. The first episode, I don't know. I didn't really like anybody in the episode.
No, Katara's still very naggy. Aang is a little punk. Little B word.
Okay. Yeah, but it just didn't... None of the characters felt like the characters that I know.
It was jarring, really, which I think is what they were going for. Like, hey, they're in the Fire Nation. Like, they wanted you to feel like, from Aang's perspective in this scenario.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like any of the characters now, except for Sokka. I still like Sokka.
So we start this episode off right after Aang has been killed by Azula.
Well, 3 weeks after.
2, I think.
She said 3. Katara said 3. Not that I listen to anything Katara says ever, yeah. But I actually listen to this part right here.
Okay, so 2 to 3 weeks that Aang has been knocked out cold from being shot in the back while in the Avatar state by Azula.
With a gun. She just pulled a gun out. You think they have guns back then?
No, they don't.
Everything's just...
They're using catapults?
Bending and catapult. That's fair. Well,
yeah.
It's a trebuchet.
Whatever. I hate you. But Aang wakes up and he doesn't know what's going on because he wakes up inside of a Fire Nation ship.
With hair.
Yeah. He doesn't know that yet, though. But he's like running around trying to get out. The firebenders are chasing him.
You think you wouldn't know that?
I don't know.
Like, what if I just shaved your head one day and like?
Well, that's
hold on. You lived your life bald, and then you fell asleep for 3 weeks, and then you woke up and you had hair.
He's probably more concerned with getting off of the enemy ship than he is with maybe there's a little bit of hair on his head.
I'd be really concerned, first of all, that I had hair.
I don't know. I don't think so.
As a man,
I don't think you'd be thinking about it.
As a bald man talking to you right now, I feel like I'd be concerned waking up. I'd feel it immediately. Like, it's almost like, when you remember, how like when you go to take a shower and you shave your legs. He's been in a coma
for 3 weeks, straight up coma.
But listen, you know how like you shave your legs and you're in the shower, and then you go into like sleeping and you feel like smoothness in the blankets.
Yeah, you just like slip around all underneath the covers.
You're like,
and stuff.
Like a dolphin.
Yeah,
yeah. So I think that'd be the same with your hair. Like, and once you get a little prickly, you feel it. You feel it. I think it'd be the same way with the hair on the head as the hair on the legs.
Maybe. I mean, yeah. I mean, he probably oils his head too.
As a completely bald-bodied man, I'm telling you that it's
not a hair on you.
Not a hair on me, except for this baller mustache that I have.
This is ridiculous. I hate it.
Okay, but back to the episodes. The Awakening.
That's what this episode's called.
It's directed by Giancarlo Volpe. Still a killer name.
It is, yeah.
I'm going to name my daughter that.
Giancarlo?
Giancarlo.
A woman.
A woman. Hey, in today's one-sided society, where does it say that I can't name my woman daughter Giancarlo Volpe?
I'm saying that now. Please don't.
Are you the societal police? No. Giancarlo Volpe Davis.
So Aang wakes up and is running around, running away from these firebenders, and runs up onto the deck of the ship, where he sees none other than Bato of the Water Tribe.
Bato of the Water Tribe and nobody else.
And, well, there's another Water Tribe guy there. I don't remember his name.
Is it Katara's dad?
I think he's like the chief or something.
Chief Bato of the Water Tribe?
Chief Mato?
All of their names are Bato.
Yeah, like Sokka and Katara. Those are
Bato
those
1,
are similar.
Bato 2.
But yeah, apparently the Resistance, I guess, can we call them that?
Les Resistance. Vive la France.
So Katara's dad and some of the Water Tribe guys and I guess some of the Freedom Fighters, Jet's Freedom Fighters have taken over a Fire Nation ship.
Yeah, where did they find those guys?
I don't know.
It's only been 3 weeks.
They said that they were like sailing around and they picked them up. they found some, but I don't know exactly where they came from.
Pipsqueak and
The dude.
the dude or Duke?
The Duke. Yes,
Have we
not
had
the
this argument
dude.
before?
Probably not. This is not the Big Lebowski. It's Avatar.
You're the one that said it.
They've taken over a Fire Nation ship in order to sort of blend in with the Fire Nation, and they're sort of in hiding right now.
Their disguises are kind of garbage. Sokka's is really cool.
Yeah, Sokka's actually got like a full uniform on.
Although he's still only like 5 feet tall.
Yeah. And then Bato of the Water Tribe and their Sokka's dad, they actually have a full setup with like the masks and everything, like they're running the ship, which is pretty cool. Katara is still just wearing everything waterbender and has a cape on.
I hate Katara. I watched this series last year when I first moved up here, and I would come home after work every night. I'd watch 2 episodes, and I watched this season 3, and I remember this is like the first time I'd ever actually watched season 3 all the way through, and I specifically remember how much I hate Katara in this season.
Katara's awful.
Awful.
She's so bad.
This time around, I hated Katara in season 2. Season 1 Katara's fine.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I
Season 2
agree with
Katara
that.
is pretty bad. Season 3 Katara is awful.
So far, yeah, we've only got 2 episodes. She didn't have much of a presence, like speaking in the next episode, but in this one, she was just straight up bad. I hated everything about her.
Extremely rude to her dad.
Yeah, her
for
dad.
a dumb reason.
Her dad came up and was like, "Oh, hey, I see the Avatar is like awoke and everything," and Katara's like, "Get out of here, Dad! I don't want to talk to you anymore."
I hate you.
Kind of.
It's not a phase, Dad.
And then when Aang brings it up, like, "Hey, are you mad at your dad?" She's like, "No. What are you talking about? Make up your mind, Katara. Either you're yelling at your dad or you're not mad at him."
Women. But Aang also, I didn't really like him in this season, or this, for the most part in this season. I mean, the last episode, he's a baller.
Oh,
This
yeah.
last episode, but or in the last episode of the season. But
yeah, in the Awakening, he's
yeah,
it's straight up awful.
The first, I think the first, like, I'll say the first third of this season, he's awful. Like he's like, I can't do anything.
I don't think that we can speak on the first third of the season.
Well,
we haven't seen the episodes yet.
I am just recollecting memories here.
Spoilers.
From what I have remembered. I think, if I remember right, the first third of this season, Aang is awful too. And Katara just doesn't get any better. Sokka's still Sokka, though. And Toph is just...
Yeah, Toph.
Is this Toph just a throwaway character now?
I don't know. We didn't get a lot of her in both these episodes. We got her fighting a little bit in the first one, which is pretty cool because it looks like she's pretty much mastered metal bending now.
Oh, in 3 weeks.
Yeah, in the 3 weeks that she's been able to metal bend.
I remember it was a big deal when this episode first came out as a kid, that she could metal bend and that Aang had a hair.
Yeah,
Like it was like, hey, you know, they're on the losing side. They're on the
this
run.
isn't your father's Avatar.
No.
They've got this. They've grown up a little bit, but it was really cool when the Fire Nation ship actually like came up upon them, and they had to sort of go into Fire Nation mode to try to get them to go away without like interacting too much with them.
Yeah, it's really cool how they had a plan to hide Appa and a plan to just hide underneath. But Aang was like, I want to do something, blah blah blah.
Yeah, Aang feels like it's his responsibility, even though they're like, hey, they think you're dead now, so we don't need them to know you're alive, so we can use you as a secret weapon when we attack them eventually.
Has he always been like that though? Like, has he always been like, act first, now let's go? Like, has he always been the leader of the group? I think this is just a new turn of phase for him in this season.
Yeah, a little bit. He usually does take charge, and like because whenever the Fire Nation's involved, especially, he'll be the one to go out on the ship and try to like do everything by himself, like he did at the Siege of the North.
The Siege of if I remember that episode.
He just goes out and tries to take down as many Fire Nation ships as he can, not really thinking about how it's affecting everybody else.
What a turd.
Yeah, really, he really is.
Yeah.
But the Fire Nation ship pulls up, and Bato of the Water Tribe, and Sokka and Katara's dad, which we should probably learn his name.
Yeah, he has a name somewhere.
But they go up and...
Hakoda.
Yeah, Hakoda. They're dressed as Fire Nation people, and they say that they're from a different fleet, and they try to get the other guys to leave.
And they do.
For a little bit.
It was pretty simple, really. It worked out. There's no need for it at all.
But we do hear that as the Fire Nation guys are getting ready to leave, Toph is like listening into them. Toph is listening in on them, and they're gonna like destroy the ship. They're gonna shoot torpedoes at it as soon as it's leaving
Torpedoes.
because they know something's going on.
Man, the turrets. shoot the torpedoes. That'd be really cool. You think they have torpedoes?
Well, they had that like chain thing that was kind of a torpedo. It shot underwater.
That's fair.
But Toph does some pretty cool metal bending in the scene because they're on all metal Fire Nation ships. So they have like this board going down that they're using to board the ship, and Toph metal. I don't know exactly to what end her metal bending is, but she metal bends over to the next ship. Probably it knocks them in the water. That's what it is.
Yeah, it knocks that little plank.
Yeah.
Boardwalk thingy. I don't know ship terms. I wasn't nautically intellectual. I'm making things. I don't know.
From the middle of America, where there's no ships.
I was landlocked my whole life, man. I think I've been to the ocean one time. Well, twice. We went to Alabama, didn't we?
Yeah.
Old Mobile.
So they sort of at this point do everything wrong that they should do because they immediately start attacking the other ship, which the other ship has been sending flaming like rocks at them and is almost destroyed their ship basically.
Yeah, it's real dumb. Like if I was in that group, like if I was Sokka, who is supposed to be taking charge of this whole armada they have, I can call it an armada because they're in the water.
Well, it's only one ship though. I think an armada implies a fleet.
Armado.
No, none of those things.
Singular armada.
A singular armada.
But I would just have what they did with the rocks, what the big dude, the Duke or whatever his name is.
No, that's Pipsqueak.
Pipsqueak. I would have him throw Toph over to the metal ship and have her sink it. And as it's sinking, have Katara just like bend her water over there, get Toph, and bring her back. Done. 5 seconds.
Yeah, but they proceed to like try to break the other ship, and then the ship does so much damage to theirs that it's not even worth having their ship anymore. They should just take the other one.
I think what they did there was, as writers of this episode, I think they were just going for eye candy because we got a lot of bending right there. We got Katara to do a lot of bending. We got Toph to do a lot of bending. Aang did zero bending.
Yeah,
and we got some Sokka planning.
Aang really wants to bend, but he's still hurt.
Yeah, and I think that was dumb. I think if strategic wise, it was not the way to go.
Yeah, Aang's just he's being real immature right now.
He's being a 12-year-old child.
He doesn't realize that they already have a plan and that by him doing anything, he would sort of put the plan in jeopardy.
He would
by him revealing himself.
Futz it up.
Yeah, so after that goes down, they have to go into the dock for repairs for their ship because they ruined it, basically. And the gang comes into Aang in his room and is like, hey, you want to go get something to eat? We're all leaving. Put on this headband. Aang's like, no, I don't want to use that headband.
Yeah, like he's being a whiny little girl. I'll say it.
He says that he doesn't want to go into town if he can't show his arrows off to everybody
proudly, even though he still has hair.
Yeah,
like he has. Like you think if that was the case in that argument, then he would have already shaved his hair, knowing that he has hair.
Yeah. They probably didn't give him like razors because they thought he might commit suicide. But
doesn't he shave his hair?
That's eventually? Quite a bit later. Yeah, maybe. I don't spoilers, but
does he? Tune in next time, kids.
Maybe in a couple episodes. But he says no, I'm not going to go. And then Katara tries to like talk him into it and is like, hey, here's why you have to do this. But Aang's like, no, I'm going to do what I want. So he flies off into the ocean.
And there's a very Luke on Hoth moment there where he's just kind of hurt.
I think you're looking way too into this episode.
I'm not.
You're trying to draw Star Wars
because Star Wars is everywhere. No, it is because he's in the water and he's on the log and he's laying there and he's very dazed and confused. Not the movie. Solid movie. Matthew McConaughey, go watch it.
Richard Linklater.
But
Richard.
Is it?
I think so. I don't know.
Anyways, he's laying on the log, and you see a silhouette, or like a shadow, like a force ghost of Roku above him, and he says, hey, dude, you got to do this. So get up and stop being a little child about it. And then he gets up and stops being a little child about it, and he treasure planets his way out of there.
Yeah, he has no, because he had already been treasure planning it.
He had
treasure planeting it.
We're going to use that as
he's got like his glider and he's using it to use the log to surf along the waves, but he's air surfing, and then he hits like a wave or something and his glider goes into the water.
Do you think he, being the Avatar, he can control the water to not do that?
You could just do that.
What a tool.
But then he's like all down and out, and then Roku comes and he ends up surfing on the waves on top of the log, and he ends up on a deserted island.
Is that a movie?
What?
Deserted Island?
Probably. I would assume so.
I don't know.
I can't think of why it wouldn't be.
I'm Googling it right now.
No, it doesn't matter all that much.
I'm Googling it.
But we see him, he wakes up then on the island, and Katara, Sokka, Toph, and Appa.
Momo, first of all.
Yeah, and Momo. So the entire gang's there, and he's been knocked unconscious. He's near death's door, I would say.
He's knocking. He's rapping on that old door.
But they all wake him up, and they're like, "Hey, we don't have to go with this plan to defeat the Fire Nation. That's not that important. We'll just go with you and just mess around in the Fire Nation."
Okay, so Deserted Island is not.
I don't care about the Deserted Island
but
thing.
Survival Island is.
That's not even the same thing. I don't even care about any single one of those things.
I'm curious.
None of those things that you've just said do I care about.
Are you guys curious? Write in now. # Deserted Island. # Boys in the Berg. On Twitter.
At Boys in the Berg.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh.
Why would it be a hashtag for our...
I do not run our website or our social media. I do not know. Nobody runs our social media.
Yeah. You're supposed to.
I should do that.
That's like one of your duties, I would say.
My only duty is to show up, have allergies, and be on social media. And I do 2 out of the 3 things.
Yes. Almost always.
If we didn't do this in my apartment, I probably would. I mean, our studio. My studio. I probably wouldn't even show up. So that'd be one of those things.
Okay, so getting back to the episode. Yeah, Aang wakes up and everybody's all fine, I guess, even though they're still acting very childish. And
well, I mean, they're childs.
Well, yes.
They are childs.
Yes, the plural of child.
Childs of the non-Fire Nation.
Yeah, they're from all different places. A very diverse group we have here.
Why is children plural of child?
I don't know.
That's a weird pluralism.
Save it for your etymology podcast.
Is it etymology or entomology's?
Entomology.
Entomology's bugs, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm pretty sure we brought this up on the podcast before also.
Vocabulistic is weird, dude. Vocabulists are weird?
Is vocabulistic? Is that word? I don't think we can
Word
talk.
to your mother. All right. Anyways, the awakening. Where were you again?
I think this is at the end of the episode.
Yeah, they hug. Oh yeah, because he burns his glider.
Yeah, and then Toph finds his glider. It just washed up on the beach.
And she's like, "Oh, what's this?" And grabs it and hands it to him. And I think that's really all we get from Toph in this episode.
And I want to point out they are on a crescent island. I think it might be the same one that the temple was on that they had to fly to earlier.
There's no temple though. It's just a.
I did see something on the left side of the island that looked like stairs. So I don't know.
Was it the stairs to the top of Mount Doom?
No, there was a volcano.
There was a volcano.
Yeah, but
was it the same volcano that Roku?
Don't do a spoiler. I think you're about ready to do a spoiler, and I would like you to not do that.
I think it's the same volcano that we see later on in the series.
Maybe.
Or
I don't know.
Season.
It could be.
We're in the last season, folks. We're in the last leg of this race.
Yeah. And then we're going to be done. And
forever.
Yeah.
No more podcasts from us.
But so I think that this is the end of the episode. The end of the episode is actually when Aang burns his glider because it's all torn up.
That should be like a relic now. That's like 112 years old.
It's so stupid. I hate it. He's like, oh, well, it would probably give me away if they saw this glider anyway. So
it's a staff.
I'll just burn it.
It's a staff for most of the time.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what the heck?
I just hated it. So I remember hating it like when I first saw this.
I remember
that's so dumb.
I remember as a child when I watched the season 3 trailer because I imagine as a season they animate all the episodes and then release them individually like they do for like a. I don't know, they did it for a TV series, don't they? They
everything's shot when they release it.
They film the whole season and they release them individually, and they have a break. But as individual episodes, they showed like a trailer of the whole season. And I remember him having hair. I remember Toph doing some metal bending. I remember Katara being a master waterbender. Sokka having a full head of hair, and then I remember the blue glider.
I don't think that we should bring up anything like that right now.
What blue glider, he says?
I don't know. Let's get on to some trivia.
Read us off that trivia there, Caleb.
Okay, so at exactly... Oh, and of course Zuko's in this episode also. We just
completely
glossed
Lord.
him. Zuko is having problems at home back in the Fire Nation. He thinks that the Avatar might not be dead. That could be a way that he survived.
And Caleb, who is he telling all this to?
Azula and Iroh, I guess. Sometime or that in the next episode.
I don't know.
Did we get any Zuko in the next episode.
We get Zuko in this first episode. The
so-
second episode is when he goes to see Iroh. The first one
Yes.
is when he goes to confront his father, and his father tells him all about stuff that I didn't listen to at all.
Yeah, I don't know what he said, but I know that
It's Mark Hamill.
Azula told Fire Lord Ozai that Zuko killed the Aang and not her for some nefarious reason that we might not know. She says it's to protect him.
Which it maybe, because if you think about it, they don't have the Avatar's body.
No.
Katara flew off with that. So there might be a small inkling of doubt in Azula's mind saying, hey, the Avatar might still be alive.
I think she knows.
Yeah.
And that's why she's setting Zuko up.
So she set Zuko for failure because, she gives Zuko all the credit for killing the Avatar. So her dad's like, oh, cool, that's really cool. But
You get your honor back.
You get your honor back. But if the Avatar happened to be alive, that would be deceitful on Zuko's part, and it would be even worse. It would be a worse banishment than before. Because that's just like a superior lie. Like, hey, the one reason we banished you, and you did it, but you just lied to me.
And okay, so I guess since it was in the Avatar state that Azula killed Aang, or supposedly killed Aang, that would end the
cycle completely.
But wouldn't you, just in case, go and try to kill every waterbender? Why don't they go to the Southern Water Tribe and wipe them all out?
Because then we can't have Korra season 1. Too.
Yeah, so that's just what I'm saying. I think that just in case, wipe out all the waterbenders.
They got to have that money, man. Nickelodeon's bombing right now.
Okay, so this next piece of trivia is at the exact same moment that Zuko thinks he regained his honor, Aang loses his. Because that's one of the big things with Aang in this episode is he feels like he's failed. He feels like he let everyone down by letting Ba Sing Se be taken over.
Did he, though?
That's what he thinks.
Well, you brought up a good point earlier about Ba Sing Se. They knocked those walls down.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Like you said, why? I understand why they had to occupy it, because you would occupy, like, I don't know, opposing military.
It might be like a taxation thing, like a money thing.
Maybe, like, because war is money. But like you would occupy something out of fear. Like
energy.
you would want your citizens, because Fire Nation works out of fear. We've seen that so far through all 3 seasons that we've seen. And so, once you hear the Fire Nation, if anybody knows that the war's going on, like, oh, the Fire Nation, don't burn us, wow. Mm-hmm. So you occupy that, and you can have your fear. It's tangible now. You can't smart off to the Fire Nation now behind their back, because behind your back, they're there. I mean, they're just right there in front of you all the time.
Think about what must be going through the people of Ba Sing Se, because, like, outside of, like, the inner or the outer circle where all the refugees are, people don't know about the war.
That's true. I
so
mean,
as soon as the Fire Nation comes in, they're like, wait, what's going on? I thought that we were friends with the Fire Nation.
They're super confused. Like, hey, guys, welcome here. They're just having a look around.
They just let them in. They're like, oh, the Fire Nation's here. And then they kill a couple of guys. And they're like, what's going on?
I'm super confused now. I like that. Yeah. So what were your overall thoughts of this episode?
I kind of like it. I mean, I don't like any of the people in it. Not a single person do I like in this episode.
I like Zuko, because Zuko's not fully...
Well, okay, yeah, Zuko is always Zuko, though.
Zuko's always Zuko. Zuko's the best character they have.
We get a little bit of him and Mai in this episode.
Is it Mai or May?
I don't know. It may
be Mai.
Yeah, whichever one. Let's go with May. Is it May? Probably May.
Maybe.
So we get a little bit. They're in a relationship now.
They're working on having babies.
And they hate the world together.
They're practicing that baby making.
No, they're not.
Are they not?
Oh, we don't know.
Probably. Behind the scenes. Somebody had to animate that. PG.
Why would they have
Keep
to
PG,
animate it?
guys. Keep it PG.
Yeah, they animated a whole sex scene, and then the guys were like, you have to take this out, right? They're like, yeah, we just wanted it.
Just put it in the Blu-ray extras. Is there a Blu-ray for this? Or is it just on DVD?
I think it's just on DVD.
I guess we'll never see that.
Due to the resolution.
Due to the resolution. They can amp that up, can they?
Well, okay, so the whole way they remaster things, like or like old movies and stuff, is when it's shot on film, there's no resolution because it's like directly on film. So they just do the same process and upscale it. But with animation, it's rendered in like whatever form it was rendered in. So you can't really upscale animation.
Huh.
I think there's a Korra Blu-ray because it's in the like 16:9 or whatever, 1080p.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the last episode in which Aang's original glider is shown.
That's sad.
Yep.
Yeah, because it got burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, he just sticks it in a volcano and it burns straight up.
Crispy crisp.
Aang's usage of a piece of driftwood to surf a large wave he created is identical to Kuruk's flashback,
Kuruk.
where he is shown surfing.
You would know that if you watch those little shorts.
I don't care about the shorts.
You should watch those shorts.
It doesn't really matter.
Wash your shorts, Caleb.
Okay. In the 2 weeks that Aang was sleeping, he is seen for the first time with hair. Also,
No, Katara says 3 weeks.
I'm sorry, the trivia, the official trivia says 2 weeks.
Fix your trivia, Wikipedia.
Or fix your episode, Katara. Also, this is the first time Sokka is seen with a full head of hair. He usually shaves the sides.
That's true. Well, that's a fashion statement. Sokka brought that in. Sokka brought in the shaved sides man bun thing before anybody did.
Yeah, he was the originator of that.
He was the originator of 2016.
This is the first of 2 episodes wherein Azula appears without makeup.
Oh, you think that symbolizes anything?
Probably not.
Me neither.
She was just sleeping. She just took her makeup off.
She was real tired.
Okay, let's move on to the next episode, which is what I wanted to talk about.
Which is the
Headband. And this is not Footloose.
It's not?
No.
You think so?
It's not based on it at all. So this is the first episode in which the gang is traveling around the Fire Nation. And we see what steps they're going to hide themselves.
They're in deep now. Like, it's all of them, because I think, was the last episode of this episode where they get new outfits. It's the beginning of this episode.
It's the beginning of this episode.
They steal outfits from some poor farmer.
Yeah. I don't know. He's got a lot of clothes for just a farmer. Was he like a dry cleaner or something like that?
Maybe he has a lot of workers. A lot of slaves.
Maybe.
You think they have slaves back then?
Probably, yeah.
I keep saying back then, but it's in a separate universe.
Yeah. Well, they definitely had slave labor camps.
Back on Earth, where they
as we figure out in this episode.
They do.
We hear about the labor camps.
Reformation camps.
Okay, but it's what it is essentially is a labor camp.
What it is.
Okay.
What it do, boo?
So they each steal some clothes. Katara has no problem just going up and stealing things. Aang's like, maybe we shouldn't steal from these people because they're just like people.
Katara's like, I call the suit tux thing. I forget what she said.
Like a dress.
Sure.
And then Toph finally changes off her green headband, which would just give her away as Earth Kingdom, just right off the bat.
That didn't happen in the last episode?
No, this is this episode.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, never mind. Yeah.
And then Sokka gets like a tunic, and Katara gets her whatever. And then Aang takes a school uniform.
Which he didn't know that.
No, but that's the one he chose.
But it gets pointed out a little bit later when they all go in somewhere, and for some reason Aang doesn't go in. It's like a little shop.
It's a meat shop. That's why he doesn't, because he's a vegetarian, as all air nomads are.
Yes, dumb. But so he's standing outside in the bazaar, saying, "Fire what? Fire?
Was it
Hotman?
Hotman, yeah.
He was saying Hotman.
Because he was in the Fire Nation hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
And so he thinks that none of the customs have changed. And so he's going around making a straight fool of himself.
He's real dumb.
Just saying it like Flamio?
Flamio.
A hot man. He's calling everybody a hot man, which is, everyone's giving him some real weird words.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, my grandpa says that, you psychopath. But he was saying that, and then all of a sudden 3 dudes walk up to him, and he's like, hey, we know who you are. You don't belong here.
And he's like, oh no, they found me out because I'm the Avatar.
And he says that. And they're like, oh, we didn't know that. And they kidnap him.
And he just gave himself away, and if he wouldn't have done that.
Dummy.
No, but what really happens is they think that he is playing hooky from school.
Because of the school uniform that he stole.
Yes.
What they should really turn him in for is theft.
It's a good thing that he took the sash from the school uniform also.
Right.
As a headband. Because they take him back to the school because they think that he's supposed to be there when really he's the Avatar.
Yeah, they have. It's convenient they have one empty seat.
Yeah,
right
in the middle of the classroom.
You think that seat was for the original owner of?
That's what
outfit?
I was thinking
he couldn't show up to school because he didn't have an outfit because it was stolen.
I was thinking like, what about that guy that's going to school and he doesn't have his uniform anymore, and he's like, oh, there's a new guy here with a uniform. That's my uniform, but he just doesn't show up, I guess, or they have extra uniforms. But
that's funny.
So there's a couple like fake outs where you think that he's going to be discovered the Avatar in this episode. He walks into the classroom and the teacher comes up and it's like, hey, you're not from the Fire Nation. And he's like, oh no, I'm the Avatar. And they're like, oh really? And then they take him off, and he wouldn't have been taken in if he wouldn't have said he was the Avatar.
He's got to stop telling people he's the Avatar. It's dumb.
No, but what really happens is
Do tell.
the teacher comes up and says, "You're not from the Fire Nation. You must be from one of the colonies because you didn't bow. Please respect your elders from now on."
So are the colonies something that like the Fire Nation has taken over since the war started, like the Earth Kingdom and the Water Tribe?
It's places where the Fire Nation is occupied.
But it's not like originally Fire Nation.
No. Okay. Well, it could be. It might be older than that, but I'm more thinking like the Earth Kingdom where they have Fire Nation presence.
Okay, so like Ba Sing Se would be a colony?
Well, right now.
Something
more
that,
like Omashu.
Yeah, something that wasn't originally Fire Nation, but they're being conformed into Fire Nationists now.
Yeah, but I don't think any of the new stuff they would call colonies, because I think you have to. The colonies are places where they think Aang is like literally born in the colonies.
Okay,
so they've been around for a while, getting like people are growing up there and stuff like that.
Well, that's confusing for dumb people like me.
Moving on. Aang sits down in his class because he goes to school now.
Yeah, and this is where we get to see how history is actually written.
Yeah, and some of the propaganda that the Fire Nation rolls out.
Yeah, it says the very first question is something about how the Fire Nation beat the Air Nation army. And Aang raised his hand and he said, "Is that a trick question? Because the Air Nation didn't have a standing or formal military." And I think that's really cool about propaganda is the victors write history.
Yeah,
like history can be completely wrong from what we know, but because people who won have written it, that's what we get.
And I think it's really cool, also, because this has been going on so long, like 100 years, the teacher who's teaching this has probably been indoctrinated also, and she doesn't really know the real truth.
Yeah, she's got second or third hand.
She's not just teaching propaganda to people to try to brainwash them. She has herself been brainwashed.
Yeah, she's teaching her learnings.
I think that's really cool. And also, we get to see that the headband Aang is wearing is... it's the logo from the school, the emblem.
Yeah, it's a like a triangle with little swirlies inside of it, like a little pyramid.
And we get to see that Aang's actually wearing it upside down on his forehead.
Yeah,
which is really cool because it actually is the shape of his arrow.
It's like a symbol for the arrow. Like, he hasn't really given it up yet.
But yeah, we get to see a couple times that he's actually wearing it upside down. No one seems to bring that up.
No, I thought they would though. Like when I watched this, I'm like, maybe they do. I'm not sure. Because soon after that, we have all the kids in the cave at one time, and they all have headbands on.
Yeah. So before they had taken off, they'd set up like camp in this cave, the Team Avatar, and so we get to see them go back there a couple times, like it's their base camp. But after Aang's day at school, they like show all the kids out in like this playground area. I guess they're all leaving.
I would say a commons area or a rec.
Yeah, and Aang runs into this girl named Anji.
Anji.
And I don't know exactly what they're talking about.
Doing stuff.
I don't remember. But this one guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, stay away from my girl."
Yeah, it's kind of like a Flash Thompson Spider-Man scenario.
It really is.
He's immediately brutal, and he starts threatening Peter Parker.
Yeah, well, Aang.
Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
I understand. I know who Spider-Man is.
Spider-Man's Peter Parker.
But yeah, this Flash Thompson-like character is threatening Aang, and Aang's like, "No, it's all cool. I don't even care."
I would first like to establish Flash Thompson from Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, not the crappy Flash Thompson from Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
Yes, the original, the OG, if you will. Flash
Joe
Thompson.
Manganiello, ladies and gentlemen.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it not Montana?
Joe Montana. Like Joe Montana?
No, like the actor Joe Montana.
I don't know who it is.
He's an actor. I know
no,
that.
He's the big dude from Magic Mike series, and he's Deathstroke in the new Justice League.
Yeah, that's Joe Montana.
That's Joe Montana.
Who's Joe Montana?
I don't know. You want to Google him?
No, I don't care about
Good, because it's neither here nor there.
Yes. So this Flash Thompson-esque character is threatening Aang, and nothing really comes of it. The first encounter, Aang's like, "Okay, I don't even care. You do whatever you want." And then he goes home and is talking to Sokka, Katara, and Toph, and says, "Hey, I really like going to school. I think that I should go back."
So he does, and then we get more. Oh, excuse me. We get more of the Flash Thompson bully. Does he have a name?
Yeah, probably.
Did we find? It doesn't matter.
I
We'll call him
don't
Flash Thompson. And so Flash Thompson decides to fight Aang this time. And what happens with all fights Usually the one who reacts to the fight gets caught.
Yeah. So
Just ask me, I'll tell you.
Aang is doing his signature airbending, move out of the way, and just let the other person basically tire themselves out. And he's just like, he's basically taunting him, which I don't really like how they showed Aang taunting him. I don't think he should have been. He had like a little wry smile on him.
Did he do the signature ninja thing where he backs off, put his hands above him, and does the whole dun-dun with his fingers?
No, he didn't do that. But there was a couple times where he was just like mirroring the movements, and he was standing behind him, where he was just sort of looking around all the girls in the crowd and be like, yeah.
They're all in love with him right now. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Beat
they
up
all
Flash
really like
Thompson.
him. He's the new kid on the block.
Is that a song?
That's a band. New Kids on the Block.
Isn't New Kid on the Block a song?
Probably.
Or no, New Kid in Town.
That's neither here nor there.
I think it's about Jesus.
So at the end of this fight, Aang sort of just pushes him away, and he falls down.
And that's when the headmaster walks out to see that final moment where Flash Thompson got booted to the ground.
Flash Thompson is now crying,
Yes.
as bullies are wont to do.
As bullies do. He's probably having a bad home life. Like his parents are divorced and his dad like beats him, and he's just taking it out on everybody at school. Like you don't know what's going through his life.
His dad's a Fire Nation soldier who just doesn't have time for any of that bullcrap.
He just comes home and gets drunk and just beats his
on
wife.
Saki. Yeah, and he takes the flame out on his son.
It's okay. His whole body's just scarred and bruised.
We don't see that.
Burnt.
Though. We don't see what's behind the bully.
Well, a good, not a womanizer, but what is that? A house beater, an abusive husband.
House beater. He just takes it out.
Breaking the walls, the new walls,
breaking his hand.
But no, a good abusive husband.
A good abusive
A
husband.
good abusive husband always beats them where people can't see. So you wouldn't like break their fingers.
I wouldn't
you
necessarily
punch
say
them in
good.
the face.
I'd say efficient, maybe. And efficient.
The more efficient, the better.
Yeah.
That's how you beat children, ladies and gentlemen. You hit them where their clothes will cover it.
Yes, and always use a phone book because it does not bruise.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
Is that just speculation, or is it just?
I've heard that the mob used to do that.
Have you tried it?
No, I haven't. But if you beat someone in the face with a phone book, all the force is spread out, so it doesn't like rupture their blood vessels.
Science, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. So the next time you're beating someone, use a phone book.
The next time you're beating an infant.
This has been a public service announcement from the Boys in the Iceberg. Getting back to the episode, Aang is in trouble now for beating this kid up.
Which he didn't really do. He just knocked him down.
And the headmaster says, "Hey, bring your parents in." And he's like, "Uh-oh.
My parents are dead. Joke's on you, headmaster."
Your people killed them.
He just says all that.
I don't think we ever get like Aang's parents.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
because I like
fine.
it. Really isolates the monk nature.
Yeah, they
like
just
that a
they
lot.
don't have any ownership of anything.
But in this episode, we get Aang's parents, and it's Sokka and
Aang's surrogate parents.
pregnant Katara.
Yeah, Katara dresses up. She's got like just I don't even what would
Where
you
did
put
they
there?
get these things?
I don't know.
And where did Sokka get the facial
Sokka's
hair?
got like a full like beard.
He's got a Fire Nation beard.
Yeah,
like
what'd they make it out of?
I don't know.
The last time we saw anything like that, it was out of Appa fur.
That would have been really funny if they would have somebody would have asked him where they got that, and they would have done like a Family Guy moment where it shows Sokka in another scene.
It was a flashback,
like shaving some dude's head or something and forming into a beard. I don't know. Family Guy, whatever.
I really like Sokka and Katara as Aang's parents.
Accepted. Headcanon accepted.
No, I don't want that to be a show or anything, but they did a good job in fooling the guy, even though they're like 15 years old. The guy doesn't put two and two together that these kids could not be this kid's parents.
Well, maybe. I mean, Aang's really short. I was thinking about this while I was watching it. Aang's really short, and that would be what I would look at as a headmaster.
But Katara doesn't look like a grown woman.
No, you're not wrong. Well, no.
No, Sokka doesn't look like a. Well, I guess Sokka does
With
more.
the beard.
With the beard, it hides a lot of stuff.
That's fair. But it hides all his acne and his teenage angst. But Katara is just, I don't know. I think with the pregnancy it helped a little bit.
Yeah,
she's actually
that probably sold
she's
a little
actually
bit.
pregnant with Sokka's baby.
It
It gets real messed up in the third season. The third season gets a little weird.
Edit point. But so Aang goes in there, and the name that Sokka uses, their last name is Fire.
Mr. and Mrs. Fire.
Yeah, I think Katara uses Sapphire Fire.
Sapphire Fire.
The dumbest name for a firebender.
That's the best. What is Kuzan is what Aang
Yeah,
used,
Kuzan. Right? That was his friend that he knew
100 and some odd years
Yes.
ago. He's just kind of cool with that guy being dead. And he immediately takes his name.
He has to make do with what he's dealt.
He can accept that, but he can't accept that he's dead to everybody else.
Oh yeah. No, I guess not.
What an idiot.
He's a symbol of hope.
I hate him so much right now in this season so far.
But we get to see some of Aang's daily life there at the school, and one of those things is playing in a band.
A day in the life of Aang.
Where he plays the sungi horn.
Brought to you by Caleb Bader.
Badly.
So bad.
That's all that I have for the day in the life of Aang.
It's not as good as Uncle Iroh's sungi horn playing skills.
Does he play the sungi horn?
Yeah, I remember that episode where they're...
he was playing
season 1.
He was playing a lute, though.
No, I think he was playing a sungi horn at one time. I think it was season 1. They were him and like a small, let's say, mariachi band of Fire Nation people under Zuko's control.
Yeah, but how could he play the sungi horn if he was singing?
Was he singing too?
I think so. I don't know. I can't remember. That was so long ago.
We don't actually pay attention to this show at all.
No, but
we don't care.
While Aang is badly playing the sungi horn, he starts like dancing a little bit, and everybody's like, "What are you doing? What is that?"
And John Lithgow shows up and says, "Hey, listen, we don't accept dancing in this small town.
No,
give me all your tapes.
I'm a Christian, and dancing is forbidden in all Christian society."
Yeah,
which is
they're too close because dancing leads to other things.
Yes, dancing is the devil,
like sexual encounters.
But
does it though?
Yeah, probably.
I've been to many dances. Maybe I'm just not attractive enough.
I'm not going to say anything.
I never left the dance. I just made out with a girl. Well, I take that back.
And we're back. So Aang decides that since these people don't know about dancing, he's going to throw an impromptu little dance party.
Yeah. Also, I have never made a party where everyone I invited shows up.
Yeah, literally everyone except for Flash Thompson shows up.
Well, nobody likes Flash Thompson.
No.
He's the only one to get the invite. Like, Aang sent a mass text, and he's like, no. No Flash Thompson.
Yes, Aang sent out a mass text.
Sending smoke signals.
But everybody shows up, even though they have no concept of dancing.
How do they even know where that was? Like, there's like, hey, that cave down by the beach.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming they know where the cave down by the beach is.
Do you think so?
Probably.
Locals.
I mean, I would assume if they've ever gone to the beach, they're like, hey, there's a giant cave over here.
They're going native.
But Aang throws this dance party, and everyone shows up, everyone from the school.
Even Kevin Bacon.
Yes. Well, Aang is sort of the Kevin Bacon stand-in.
Aang is the Kevin Bacon in the scenario?
Of course.
Yeah, I know.
What are you talking about?
Have you guys seen the new Footloose?
No.
It's actually pretty good.
I'm not going to watch it. I haven't seen the old Footloose.
I recommend it. It's got Miles Teller in it.
I don't care.
Not the old one, the new one. Miles Teller was, I don't even know if he's alive.
The old Miles Teller? Or the new Miles Teller?
The new Miles Teller.
Is Miles Teller the new Kevin Bacon?
I don't know, is he? I know he was Fantastic Four guy.
Technically he would be.
Technically he would.
I guess. But...
No, he wasn't. There was some unknown actor who played Kevin Bacon's role. Miles Teller was the redneck who people love.
Oh, okay.
Anyways. Kevin Bacon's not an Avatar.
No, he's not.
I wish.
He should be.
That'd be so cool.
But yeah, everyone shows up to this dance party, and Aang is the only one dancing, basically. He's showing everybody how it's done.
Yeah, and he does a little like Russian dance for a second.
Yeah, he says that's how they used to dance in the Fire Nation. And then he pulls On G up there and says, hey, this is how they do it in the halls of Ba Sing Se.
He's really pulling to get punched by Flash Thompson again.
Yeah, but Flash Thompson's not there, so he can't.
Or is he there?
And he never got punched by him in the first place because he's the Avatar.
He dodged it, just like Peter Parker did.
Yes.
The original Peter Parker. I will not accept Andrew Garfield. Not my Peter Parker.
Hashtag not my Peter Parker.
Hashtag not my Spider-Man.
Hashtag not my Avatar. But yeah, Aang is dancing with all the ladies too. He's really going after the gals.
Ladies.
Because the groups are segregated, just like your typical middle school dance party.
Guys on one side, girls on the other.
Yep. And they meet in the middle.
They do. Isn't that a song?
Yeah, I was trying to think of the lyrics. That's what the pause was for.
You start walking my way. I'll start walking.
No, I'll start walking your way.
You start walking
mine. We'll meet
in the middle.
Like
that old Georgia pine.
Is it Georgia pine or something time?
No, I think it's by that old Georgia pine.
That doesn't make any sense then.
What even is a Georgia pine? That's a lot of songs.
It's probably a tree.
Well, no, duh.
I mean, it's probably just a pine tree from Georgia. I don't know what you want me to say.
Is it segregated from like a Indiana pine?
Well, it's probably just what they call it in Georgia.
We're not in Indiana. Why would you assume that?
No, California. So
Avatar stuff.
yeah, Aang is just dancing, and Sokka says, "Hey, Anji and Aang look kind of good dancing out there together." And Katara's like, "Yeah, if you say so."
In this scenario, though, Katara cannot visibly get mad because she is still Aang's mother.
I don't think that they're because she's not pregnant anymore.
Without the baby. She's had the baby.
Yeah, she
was very pregnant.
Yes, probably 10 months.
Probably
pregnant.
10 months pregnant. She popped it out.
Yeah,
she feels a lot better.
I don't think that they're supposed to be mother and son anymore.
You don't think they just walked through the halls with Katara and Sokka like Aang did, and
yeah, probably.
And some of the school students saw them, so they just know.
Maybe
now they're really suspicious as to why Katara doesn't have the baby anymore.
Now her hair was different, so maybe they think that Aang's mom and sister just look really, really close together, and it's perfectly okay to just dance with your sister.
Aang's mom and Aang's lover, Katara, look very similar.
That's true. Yeah, no, but that's what I was thinking. Maybe it's his sister, but that doesn't work either.
Incest, man.
Yeah, that's the second time this podcast has been brought up. And I think we should go away from that. Let's just move on.
Incest is not wincest. Stop it.
It's not. Okay, don't even say anything like that. I hate it.
I hate you.
So let's get back to the dance party. Aang has a band there, and they're all playing and stuff. And then eventually he pulls up Katara, and they start dancing. And they're doing a dance fighting thing where they're incorporating bending moves and stuff in it.
It's really cool. It's very pretty.
It's like capoeira.
Because we don't get much choreography this episode, so I think that's their version of choreography.
Yeah.
It's dance choreography instead of fight choreography this time.
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool.
Also, back to the live band. Do you know how much it costs to get a live band?
These are kids. They volunteered. It's volunteer time.
They will learn.
Learn what?
To charge next time.
Yeah, they could probably make some money if people danced in this town, but they don't.
They don't.
Do adults dance? Because they did bring up that kids are supposed to have order. But do they let the adults dance?
Once you turn 21, you're like, hey, you can dance now.
Yeah, it's okay to dance.
They don't have beer, they just drink.
It's no drinking age, just the dancing age.
Dancing age. You can drink whenever, though.
I mean, that's all they would have is alcoholic beverages.
Do they have alcohol there?
Yeah, they definitely do.
They seem like a wine community.
That's alcohol.
Well, I know, the specific alcohol.
You think that it's wine? I was thinking more like vodka.
Vodka.
Because it's
my vodka.
I get a lot of Russian stuff from this.
You think they would have vodka there?
I don't know. He was doing a traditional Russian dance for the traditional Fire Nation dance.
Well, I think they cherry picked some Russian dance moves.
I don't know. They probably have potatoes.
Yeah. You think?
I don't know, Harley. I don't know why you're asking me this.
I'm curious. You should know. We should know.
That's not necessarily true.
This is what we do with our lives, Caleb. We need to know.
Okay, so we get the headmaster who comes in and tries to break the dance up because Flash Thompson has tipped him off.
Ratted him out.
Yep, like a true Flash Thompson.
Like the rat he is.
So the headmaster comes and hey, break it up. Break it up.
Yeah, they do. Not break it up.
No.
Psych.
They single Aang out and they're like, hey, go get that kid with the headband. So everybody puts on their headband.
Yeah.
Because why not?
What would you say that was like earlier?
Spartacus?
Oh, that was trivia. Sorry. We'll get into that in a minute. They do it like a thing, which we'll get into later.
And that lets Aang escape. And they run off into the cave, and Toph, blocks them in.
Does she or does Aang?
I don't know. Probably Toph.
One of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's get to some of the meat of this episode, which is Zuko and Iroh.
The meat and potatoes guy.
We get a little bit of Zuko trying to talk to Iroh. He needs some advice.
He doesn't talk to Iroh. He talks at Iroh
a
lot.
That's the same thing. All the time with this. I'm done.
Well, that's it for us. Well, we're about to be bombed.
I don't know what that is. I really hope that you guys can hear that because that was scary.
I'm pretty sure they dropped the bomb on us. We're dead now.
So yeah, Zuko has been coming to the jail cell where Iroh is.
Yes, unbeknownst to anybody else, in the middle of the night.
Yes, and he threatens the guards hey, you better watch out and don't tell anybody that we've been here.
Well, the first night he shows up, he walks up and there's just a silhouette of him really to the guard. He's like, hey, who goes there? And he's like, all right, I'm turning around. And he leaves. So the next time he comes back, and the guard's like, who goes there again? And Zuko looks up, and he's like, oh, Prince Zuko, I'm sorry. And then he stops him. And he says, you're going to guard this door, and you're not going to do squat, or I'll beat you up. Blah, 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 blah,
I'm
blah,
Zuko.
Because I'm Zuko. I'll threaten you to an Agni Kai. What's up? Stuff. Words.
I'll threaten you to an Agni Kai. He'll probably challenge him.
Threaten.
So, yeah, he shows up, and Iroh's really completely unresponsive in this episode. Zuko's just like yelling at him.
Iroh's really let himself go.
Yeah. Zuko's just trying to basically work out some of his problems. Iroh's basically an overglorified therapist at this point.
Who doesn't say anything?
Yeah.
That's the real kind of therapy you need. Somebody to yell at who can sit there and just cry after you leave.
Yeah. Yeah, because we do get that because Zuko is yelling at him. He's calling him like a lazy old man and stuff like that and just being really nasty.
Yeah, he's like, if you weren't in this jail cell, you'd be in a gutter.
Yeah, like you're a hobo.
Yeah.
Which he's not.
Would he be in a gutter? Can you imagine sleeping in a gutter?
I don't know if he's sleeping in it or does he mean he's going to be killed and thrown into a gutter.
Like the garbage he is.
Yes.
Iroh's not garbage. I still love him.
I don't think they're talking about like a roof gutter. I think it's like
when I picture gutter,
a street gutter.
Like a street gutter? What is that?
It's like a ditch.
Like when they used to throw their poo out in the street?
No, that was just on the street. This is like a ditch to the side of the street.
That's so gross. Could you imagine living in that time?
Yeah, and I don't want to.
You can't imagine?
I can't imagine it.
I'm
and
actually
it haunts
used to
my
do
every
it.
thought.
I wake up
out
in the
of my
morning,
mind.
it's the first thing that I think about.
And the last thing I think about when I go to sleep.
Poo in the streets.
And I hate it.
And not the Winnie the Pooh kind.
But yeah, so Iroh's just sitting there, not really ignoring Zuko, but I guess ignoring Zuko.
Not really ignoring Zuko, but yes, he's doing exactly that. And we get a cool bit of symbolism here, in my personal opinion, and I think I've kind of swayed you to it a little bit. Most of the shots in the jail cell are from Zuko behind the bars, and I think that's cool about him battling his inner demons. You know, he's caged up inside. He wants to get free from what he's currently going with right now in his life, and I think that's some really cool symbolism. Because then you just see Iroh kind of, he's sitting in the light.
Yeah.
And Zuko's really dark and he's holding on to the bars and he's screaming at Iroh. And then he ends up leaving. Like he's really frustrated. Zuko, and like I said, Iroh doesn't say a single word, but at the very end, as soon as Zuko leaves, you see one single perfect tear come down his face. Iroh's face, I should say.
And it just shows he's conflicted inside too. He doesn't want to do this to Zuko, but he thinks that it's best for him.
Yeah, I don't think he's mad at Zuko. I think because he knows Zuko's going through so much turmoil, like inner turmoil, that this is the best way to work it out.
He's letting Zuko work it out for himself.
Yeah. And then Zuko does work it out for himself. He hires a bounty hunter to track down the Avatar.
And the last shot of this episode, I believe, is we see this guy's face, and he's got a third eye.
Is it a third eye or a tattoo?
Well, it looks more like a tattoo, but it's a symbol of an eye.
A tattoo of a third eye.
Yeah, okay, if you just want to nitpick. Okay, I was trying to be a little...
eye.
It's a little bit mysterious. I was just trying to give it a little bit of suspense.
Third eye mysterious.
I hate you.
Tattoo.
Okay, let's go into some trivia for this episode. Aang uses the belt from the school uniform as a headband. But no one seems to find this strange, as he claimed on the first day he had an embarrassing scar. So
does Prince Zuko, but he doesn't hide it. Grow a pair, Aang.
Well,
Grow a pair.
Aang doesn't actually have a scar either.
It's a big blue scar.
The history teacher refers to the air nomads as the Air Nation and mentions their army, which we brought up earlier. Which is, I still think it's really cool how they've indoctrinated everyone like this.
I concur, Doctor.
Okay.
Well, we talked about that earlier. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. So this is one of the only two episodes where Zuko laughs. And I think that their definition of laugh is very loose.
Huh.
Because, his is sort of like a and I wouldn't really count that as a laugh, per se. That's a chuckle. And that's a chuckle or a chortle in my book.
I'd say a chuff.
Is that a real term?
Well, chuff is more of what a tiger makes, I guess. You ever watched We Bought a Zoo with Matt Damon?
Yeah, one time, a long time ago.
Wasn't grand.
And I wouldn't even say it was great.
Thomas Hayden Church was in the movie. I just remember that.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he the antagonist?
No, he was Sandman.
And that's Spider-Man 3.
He just came over to that. He just swamps the zoo with sand.
When Aang leaves the group as they go into the store selling meat, one woman is seen wearing some of Toph's disguised clothes. What does that mean?
I still don't know. I thought we vetted these before. What are you doing?
Okay, I thought that this was an interesting discussion point on the podcast that we could go over and try to figure it out.
We tried figuring it out 20 minutes? No, we've been way too long on this.
Yeah, it's been a lot longer than 22 minutes.
What am I doing on my day?
Having fun. Okay, so here, let's move on to this one if you don't like my trivia. Anji never once stated that Hide was her boyfriend.
Oh, Hide is Flash Thompson.
Yes.
Flash Hide Thompson.
In fact, she was never seen smiling while he was with her.
That's a sign of abusive relationship.
Yeah,
right
so
there.
he's just a creep. Is what that is. I guess he's popular though.
He's the Gaston.
Maybe he's like he thinks he's popular, but he's really not. Everybody hates him.
It's like Gaston.
Like, is that how Gaston is?
Have you seen the new version of Beauty and the Beast?
No.
Yeah, they at one point in time in the tavern, LeFou pays people to sing the Gaston song.
Oh, okay.
Like, because nobody really likes Gaston.
Yeah.
So I get it. Gaston.
Yeah, that makes sense. When you said Gaston, I was thinking of the clock in Beauty and the Beast, not who a Gaston actually is.
What's the clock? Cogsworth is the clock.
Cogsworth, yes, but for some reason I thought that was Gaston.
It's really weird that their names resemble what they are.
Yeah.
Like Cogsworth or Lumiere.
Yeah, I don't think that...
That's all I've really got. Mrs. Potts.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. They had to like hire the people, like the servants, based on their name because they knew that sometime they would have to be changed into sort of an inanimate object based on what their name is.
Chip.
When
I first saw the new Beauty and the Beast, and if they said Chip and turned him into a real boy, it makes more sense to me as a live action. I'm like, this kid has autism.
Does he really?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But he's got that huge chip in the head as a.
Does he have it in the new movie?
As the cup, he does.
So did he?
So maybe he has a dent in his head.
Do you think? Yeah. Do you think he got chipped? Like, was he chipped before he turned in? Like, how does that work? Did he get the chip after becoming like a cup?
The Beast threw a child cup against the wall and it chipped.
It just chipped a little bit. And then, like, when he transformed into a boy, did he have like a chip in his head?
That's also incredibly unfair. Like, can you imagine being almost breakable ceramic? Like, you have to watch what you're doing.
Yeah.
But Lumiere is like steel, and
yeah,
he could like do whatever. He's jumping off of like stairwells and stuff, and he's just fine.
Yeah, I don't know how any of that happens.
Go buy Beauty and the Beast right now. We're not endorsed by them at all, but it's a good movie.
I'm not gonna say one thing or another.
Just
on it.
came out.
Aang's pasta drawing of Firelord Ozai. Not gonna read that. That's a little bit of a spoiler. It's a good thing we vetted these.
Yeah.
And in this episode was already in pre-production by 2006.
Ooh.
As evidenced by a post on Brian Konietzko's Tumblr.
And Caleb, tell us a little bit about Brian Konietzko. Who is he?
Show.
I don't really care. Go on to the next trivia.
Yeah, okay, so this is the last piece of trivia. This is the first episode in which Iroh appears without lines. So I guess that this sort of means that... Because Iroh hasn't been in every episode, right?
He's been in a lot of them.
Yeah, but he hasn't been in every one.
Well, no, because Zuko alone, he wasn't in that one. I know that for a fact because it was Zuko.
Yeah, so
alone.
this time he shows up, but he doesn't speak.
No. Which I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Because you get to see the verbalization of the inner turmoil of Zuko.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way they portray that.
Okay, so in closing here, what were your thoughts on this episode?
I hated it.
Well, that's about what I think too. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you here next week.
Bye.